Okay, so for the next 2 weeks, we are going to enjoy our open lab sessions. So if you look at the timetable, which is just as a reminder for everyone, let's just look at that. Okay, so when you see here, refresh, there we go, no new emails. If you go content, this is a slow machine. And if you go to students items, lab timetable, there it is. Here it is. Okay. All right, can we see things? I wonder. All right. So for the next 2 weeks, October 4th till October 15th, actually, all these are open lab sessions. So no matter what section you are, that's the idea of the open lab sessions, is that you are able to join any section in order to catch up with your work. Right? This is not if you want to improve your mark because you're not satisfied with the previous mark and you want to get a better mark. That's not the purpose of the open lab. It's not how it works. You got the mark, you got the mark. All right. But the purpose of that is if for some reason somebody had missed some of your sessions, you are welcome to join any of those. Doesn't matter what section. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 open lab sessions you can join. You can join one, or you can join all of them if you wish. All I ask you to do is to send me an email and tell me which one you would like to attend. All right. So they don't have sections. Those open labs, you can join any of those, no matter what section you are. Just let us know. Is it me or is it Mr. Cunningham? Because if you look at whatever the session is going to be at whatever day, at the top here, you can see who is doing it. Is it me or Mr. Cunningham? All right. So if you choose to come to, let's say, for example, for this one here, which is, let's say, October 14th, all right, from 10 to 12, you would email me to reserve a spot. Okay? But if there's another one, let's say, for example, this one here, October 15th, you would email Mr. Cunningham to reserve a spot in that class. We are limited to 20 students per class. I don't think we're going to have any overcrowding issues this far during this course. Nevertheless, please let us know if you want to join. Otherwise, we are going to wait 15 minutes, and if in 15 minutes nobody shows up, we close the session. All right. Now, how are you going to find our emails if you don't know yet? Here is the class portal, and right on the top right here, you can see my contact, and you can see Mr. Cunningham's contact here. All right. So that's all I have to say about that. Can we attend an open lab anyway? In regards to what? Jonathan says, can we attend the open lab anyway? Well, if you're caught up, then you're good. If you wish to kind of brush up on your skills, now I won't be able to give you a better mark than you already got. But if you wish to just participate dry and brush up on your skills, then why not? Yes, you can. Just let us know that you're coming or not, because we need to know who's coming. All right, for the open lab, do we come if we have not missed? Yeah, so Israel, that's you don't need to, but just as I said, if you want to just keep practicing what we have done so far, you're most welcome to do. So, okay. Just gonna quickly run over the chat line, see if I missed Anything? How about some tunes? Well, no more tunes. Alright, when are the marks being posted? As soon as I put them in, so I was just I have your sheets here from today's session, and so far I just put in the attendance, and then after this class I'm going to go over these evaluation marks, and we're going to post them. So yeah, they'll be posted today. All right, cool. All right, so let's it's not going to be a long session today because we have a few more slides to finish up from yesterday, and that is going to be it for the hand tools session. And up till today, later on, I'm going to launch a quiz. It's going to be an online quiz. There will be a larger question bank, and there will be only 10 questions picked randomly every time somebody logs in. So if you log in twice, you're going to get two different sets of questions from the same question bank on that test. You're going to have 2 attempts to do that, and the last attempt is going to count, not the best of 2, the last attempt. The purpose of that is that sometimes somebody has a trouble with internet or something happens, then you have a chance to log in again. But don't log in right away, because maybe if you have a problem with internet going up and down, if you do the same thing right away, you might encounter the same problem. So try to find out what's going on and log in again later on to complete the test. Or if you have, let's say, if you get 60% and you think you can do better, you're most welcome to use your second attempt. But if you get less on the second attempt, that's the mark that you're going to get. So that's the thing. It's an open book test. It's an online test. And I've been doing this thing ever since the COVID thing hit us, and it seems that this way of doing tests that I do it seems to work just fine. The purpose of that is that you are learning. My whole objective is that you're learning here. Once you leave this school, you're going to close the door for the one last time, one day, and I want you to have as much knowledge as possible. Okay? Now, somebody's chewing something. I'm not sure if it's the same dude doing it on purpose or not. I'm going to ask you to mute your microphone, because if you're chewing something, we can hear that, and that just sucks. Okay. Right. Okay. All right. So this is the last slide that we had yesterday. As a review here, we talked about pliers and saws. Let's review the last slide. Do not use pliers as a wrench or a hammer, of course, because the pliers are meant to squeeze things and guide things in and shape things, or carry things from one spot to another if something is too hot, basically, to touch. The pliers are not supposed to be used as a hammer. Why is that? It is because the metal, the way it is made and treated and processed, is not meant to handle impact, okay, or larger forces such as range. Okay. All right, a couple questions here. When is this quiz due? When is it due? It is going to be due when I say so. No, you're going to have, probably I'm going to give you a week to complete that since the moment of this thing being launched. And I'm going to encourage you to, once this quiz is launched, do it right away. Because if you're going to wait, I'm going to do it tomorrow or 2 days later, and then this 2 days becomes 3 days, and 3 days becomes 5 days, and then you're going to see, oh no, I have 1 day to do it, I better do it now. And then I'm going to get emails, I missed the deadline, I wasn't aware, can I have an extension? No, you had a week to do it. It is, I'm giving you all kinds of how do I say, you're going to have this thing easy as far as open book, but it's not going to be as easy as you think, because the way I designed online tests is that sometimes you're going to have to search for the information either on the videos that we make or on the posted lecture notes. It's a different type of questions as if it was in person, right? The objective of this whole thing still is to learn and do it yourself. If you have trouble with something, try to learn it. Okay? The main reason is when you close the door for the last time, when you leave this school, you're going to be with yourself, and you can count only on yourself and the knowledge that you get from here. If you get somebody else to do the test for you, sure, they're going to know it, you won't. And there are two kinds of people in this world: tuco, right? People who do the job, and people who carry the tools for the people who do the job. You decide which one you're going to be, and you know what to do, and you know what not to do. All right? Okay. And it's going to be launched maybe later on today or towards the end of the week, which is tomorrow. Okay. So with the thing here, do not attempt to force pliers using a hammer. Again, we went over that because of the metal is not meant to handle that. Do not slip pipe over handles of pliers to increase the leverage, because the tool is designed to handle so much force as it is. And if you are extending the arms of the tool, you are going to put too much force on the tool, more than it was designed to, and things can break. When things can break, there's no way to know what is going to happen. You can hit yourself against some object, or some object can fly out and hit you. All right, do not use pliers to loosen and tighten nuts. They are not designed for that. They will slip off the nut. You're going to, if you're only lucky that you're going to damage some part, you're going to be not effective or not productive as a worker. And if you're not effective and not productive as a worker, you are not going to have that job. Somebody else will. All right? So that's if you're lucky, if you don't get hurt, but you can also get hurt by when you apply stronger force on something and something lets go all of a sudden. There's no way where your hand is going to go and what is going to hit. Right? Saws, do not use adjustable blade saws such as hacksaw, coping saw, keyhole saw, or bow saw if the blade is not taut. The blade tension has to be proper, not too tight because it can break, and not too loose because it can slip off and can bend on you and can break as well. And again, there's no way where things are going to go into or fly into when things happen. Do not use the saw that has dull saw blades. Again, the reason for that is then the tool is not in proper condition. And if the tool is not in proper condition, then you're going to have to invent other ways of using that tool, and most of those ways that you're going to find out or improvise the way to use it, you are going to put yourself in danger. All right, put downward pressure on. Okay, we're going to go over that when we use the hacksaw to cut the metal tubing, right? So this one says put downward pressure on the blade on the forward stroke of the saw. So we're saying here's the hacksaw, okay, and you're going to put forward downward pressure when you just go forward stroke, right? And then you're going to retract. I'll give you the live demo on that, and I'll be watching you like a hawk, so you don't get your fingers kind of like damaged on that. We had a couple of drippers over the years. Well, and then I have to do the paperwork. Always secure fasten the object is being sawn. Right now, we have a couple of vices that we're going to utilize for the cutting of metal tubing, and I will show you how to properly fasten those objects, because if they're not properly fastened, they're going to move on you, and then again, there's no way to tell what is going to happen when things are not properly mounted, that you're going to put some pressure on. Right? All right, okay. Here, selecting the proper tools. All right, so this here is the reason for me to give you this information that you can turn into knowledge is that, well, one reason is you are going to use those tools. And I'm trying to raise some awareness in your minds that selecting the proper tools for you. Now, you're going to have, everybody is built different, all right? Some tool that is going to be excellent for you might not be excellent for somebody else, and vice versa, right? But there are some common rules that we should just, kind of entry level, some kind of a starting point that we can get from. Now, there are two kinds of injuries. One is an immediate injury, that's you get, you hit yourself on something and you get a bruise, or you get a bleeder or something like that. So that's an immediate kind of a injury. The other type of injury is an injury due to prolonged and repetitive use, and those injuries do not manifest themselves right away. They are creepers, right? If you use something in the wrong way for a long time, nothing is going to happen for a long time. And then you're going to see some effects of that later on. But the thing is that once you start seeing the effects, it's too late to reverse that, the effect of that. So the best thing is the prevention. And the key to prevention is knowledge, right? So that's why we are going over these things here. We're going to read those, discuss some of that, but keep those things and read them over. The other reason for that is, other than you are going to be using, some of you are going to end up in supervisory positions. And sometimes you're going to be requested by your by your leader or the owner of the company, or whoever is above you, to select a certain tool for larger group of people. All right. So then, what do? Go to some hardware store and pick some things off the shelves, load it into your cart, and go to cash register and pay for them and bring them to your work. What if the tool that you've selected, that you have to buy like 500 of whatever it is, and it turns out that there's something wrong with it, that people get injured, they complain, they get tired, their hands hurt, or something like that. So that's the other reason that we're going over that. So if you are requested to find or research some sort of a tool that is supposed to be purchased on a larger scale, it's not gonna like one or two, no problem, because if it's one or two screwdrivers and they're both like $14, then yeah, okay, $14 twice, $28. Yeah, okay, it's not nothing, but it's still not a huge thing. But if you have to order 500 of something that costs $60 each, or $80 each, or $200 each, then if you have to throw things out and you have to get another one, and some people complain that they get injured and lawsuits coming up or whatever, then it's a problem. Right, so you got to demonstrate at least some sort of knowledge to have some sort of structured way of choosing some of the tools. So ergonomics is one of the biggest things. What's ergonomics? Is adjusting the tool that you're going to use to the shape of your body or the way you are using. All right, just an example of what is the best chair in the world. What is the best position to sit in the chair? What's the best chair in the world that's fixed? There's no such thing as far as ergonomics. Even the best position that you're sitting in, you're going to have to change that position once in a while so you don't get the prolonged effects of the injury. We are humans. We are not meant to be in one position for a long time, because if that happens, we get injured. All right. So that's as far as ergonomics. It's adjusting whatever you are using to suit your body the best. Right? Okay, so what factors must be considered before selecting hand tools? All right, the one factor most often overlooked is ergonomics of the tool. Does it fit your hand? Is it the right fit for the job? A tool becomes ergonomic only when it fits the task you are performing and it fits your hand without causing awkward postures, harmful contact pressures, or other safety and health risks. All right, this is basically what we talked about. If you use the tool, yeah, okay. If you use the tool that does not fit your hand, or use a tool in a way that it was not intended, you might develop an injury such as carpal tunnel syndrome, tendonitis, and or muscle strain, just to mention the few. And I'm not going, because I'm not I'm not in healthcare. I'm not a healthcare professional, so I'm not going to go into too much detail as far as describing some of those, but there's nothing here to stop you from researching some of those things that have been mentioned here, such as carpal tunnel syndrome, tendonitis, or muscle strain, and you'll be surprised how much literature you can find if you start researching it. And I would encourage you strongly to do that, because the more you know, the less chance you're going to lower the probability of you getting hurt on the job and other ways. There's that saying that if I knew I was going to fall down, I would lie down. All right, so that's basically the same analogy. I'm giving you the knowledge, so you don't get hurt. All right. These injuries result from repetitive movements that are performed over time or for a long period of time. The damage occurs to muscles, tendons, nerves, ligaments, joints, cartilage, spinal discs, or blood vessels. Injuries such as these can last a lifetime, right? Yeah, I was just saying, two types of injuries. One is the immediate injury. You get yourself cut. Well, you can go and see a doctor, or you can put a band-aid on it, and over the time this thing heals. It hurts in the beginning, but then it heals for the most part. Some of the immediate injuries could be more severe, such as broken bones. Yeah, then you're going to be in a cast or some sort of something over the longer period of time, and that can cause some other injuries or other prolonged effects over that. And the other one is the creeper, right? Is the injury due to prolonged or repetitive actions. Okay? And as I said, they do not show up right away. Okay? And once they do, it is hard to reverse them. Okay? All right. Repetitive strain injuries. Right. These injuries can manifest as. Right. Now, you guys are still in the young part of your lives, so you might not feel some of the weight of some of those things. But then as you move along with your life, you are going to notice that some of those things that we're mentioning here, they are actually real, and when they happen, they are annoying to say the least, and they could lower the quality of your life. So why not prevent them? These injuries can manifest as the prolonged repetitive strain injuries. Okay, they can manifest as tingling, swelling in the joints, decreased ability to move, decreased grip strength, continual muscle fatigue, sore muscles, numbness, change in the skin color or of your hands or fingertips, or pain from movement, pressure, or exposure to cold or vibration. Fibromyalgia comes to mind, right? But not only. But then again, I don't want to go too deep into that because I am not a healthcare professional. All right. Some things that to consider when selecting tools. All right. Power and precision grips, single handle tools, such as a screwdriver. It's a single handle. It just has one handle. All right. So now, so here will be like okay. This is the bigger screwdriver, and this is the smaller screwdriver. This is almost miniature screwdriver, right? So this will be considered a power hand tool, and this will be considered as precision hand tool. Okay? Handle diameter for power tasks should be about 1¼ inch to 2 inches. Right? And here's the diameter. Okay. Yeah? Then handle diameter for the precision tools should be 1/4 inch to half inch. Right? I had the pleasure and honor to work with both type of tools for the longer period of time when I was doing installations and things that have to do with that. I will be using the so-called regular size screwdrivers and pliers and whatever else. So this would be considered the power kind of a hand tools. But also there was a time that I used to work in the repair shop that we used to repair cellular phones, the cell phones. And it would be a lot. So basically, you would be sitting at the desk with the microscope almost glued to your eyes, and you would be using tiny screwdrivers, tiny screwdrivers and tweezers and stuff like that. Well, look at that. What can happen here for prolonged injuries? What would be the most parts of your body that you're using? It would be these joints and muscles that have to do around that. So the injuries most likely are going to happen somewhere here, okay? Or on top of your arm, and you can injure some, well, you could get blisters in your hands, and that's about it, just to mention a few. Now, where could you get injured when you are exposed to a prolonged use of these things? And they actually do hurt. It would be your fingers, because the most power that you are using would be gripping the miniature tools with your fingers. So it's best that they have a certain size of handle, getting you to use the proper grip. They have to be comfortable to use over the longer period of time. Okay? So just something to think about. So that's why these are good starting points to take a look. If you go into a store and a screwdriver that normally costs $25, you can buy this thing for $3.75. You know what? Maybe there's a reason for that. Okay? Maybe nobody's, maybe they have a high return rate, or maybe there's something wrong with that tool. Okay. All right, power and precision grips for double handle tools. All right, so here's the open grip and the closed grip. So most of the time, mostly you're going to look at the span of the handles, all right? And so here is for example, Lyman pliers on this picture here. And over here, if you could see it or not, these are tweezers, all right? So open handle grip for power tasks is no more than 3½ inches, all right? If it goes any further, our human hands are not made to handle more than that, and you are going to end up handling those tools in a uncomfortable way. And if it's just once or twice, nothing is going to happen. The problem is that if you use that tool repetitively over a long period of time, that's when things happen. As I call it, the creepers are going to visit you sooner or later, right? So open grip about 3½ inches, and closed grip span no less than 2 inches, right? So that would be a proper tool, just good starting point, all right, for the power tasks. Now, for the precision tasks, open grip span is not more than 3 inches for open, and closed grip span, precision task, is no less than 1 inch. Right? Then you can use that kind of a tool repetitively over a longer period of time, and the chances of you getting injured due to repetitive use are going to get not as great as if the dimensions were different than that. Right? So that's when you're trying to select the tool, that's what you look at. Well, so there's power tasks and there are precision tasks. power task and a precision task. Here's a single handle criteria. Here is a double handle criteria. So if your boss asks you to select some tool for a larger group of people and have to get a lot of those, at least you know how to look for things in some sort of a constructive way. All right. Considerations when selecting hand tools. All right, for double-handed pinching, gripping, or cutting tools, select a tool with handles that are spring-loaded to return the handles to the open position. Okay? Spring-loaded, do they have, no, I don't have it. Spring-loaded handles would be, for example, too much, over here, okay? Some of the pliers, they would have a spring that pries those handles open. So all you have to do is just keep squeezing that, and when you release, that thing is going to open by itself. So a lot of those things do not have those spring-loaded handles. So what you do, you just put your pinky on the other side of the handle, and you use your pinky to open things, right? So that's quite common procedure as well. But if you can help it, if you have the choice between having this kind of a spring-loaded opening handles, then these will be better, because most of the time you're going to have those precision task tools like that. So for example, these tweezers here, you release, they open by themselves, and just squeeze them to grab things, right? Something like that. Okay, now all right, so here, for double-handed pinching, gripping, or cutting tools, select tools with handles that are spring-loaded to return the handles to the open position. Select the tool without sharp edges or finger grooves on the handle. Okay? Well, the most common injury from that would be either you get blisters, or you would have some awkward pains in your hand from prolonged use, because if you have finger grips or things like that, those will position your hand in one only position for that thing to be used. And if you have to do it repetitively, you are going to strain your muscles, because you're going to move your hand over and over and over in exactly the same way. You might not realize that when you have just a regular, without those grips, just a smooth handles, when you use this thing repetitively over the long time, you might not realize, but your hand, without you knowing, is going to change positions just so it doesn't get hurt. Just watch it sometimes, all right? The best analogy I could use for that is, do you have a favorite song? Sometimes we do have a favorite song, okay? And there's a song that we like a lot, all right? But would you like to hear that song a million times continuously? That would drive you nuts. It would hurt your brain, okay? So same thing with the physical things, all right? If you use things same way over and over and over, something's going to get tired and something's going to get injured in your hands, all right? So sharp edges, or they also could give you blisters when that happens. Okay? Select a tool that is coated with soft material. Adding a sleeve to the tool handle to construct the pads. Okay, adding this, what did I write here? Adding a sleeve to the tool handle pads the surface, but also increases the, okay. If you add sleeves, or sometimes there's tape that you can wrap around the handles, yes, it will add the cushion, but it will change the size of the tool. So you kind of help yourself in one way, but you're messing yourself up in another. All right, so these will be the three things to consider here. Do we have any more slides here? Well, look at that. This is the end of this presentation. So there's a two-part lecture here on the hand tools, and we are at 2:35. All right, so some of the lectures we're going to slightly go over the time, but the luxury that we have is that if you have to go somewhere, you can catch the end of the lecture on YouTube as I'm posting all of that. And sometimes you're going to have a shorter lecture just like this one. We are doing quite well on time. I noticed that we are doing quite well with the lab one. Notice that we are putting great stress on you getting a perfect termination technique. This, for some of us, for many of us, this is the first time that you're actually attempting to do a proper, professionally done termination on the receptacles that we're doing, the screw terminals. It is extremely important that you get this thing down path, all right? Because you're going to be doing a lot of it, but that termination task that you're going to be performing, it is going to be a small part of the bigger picture. So the quicker you get this, if I could use that word loosely, mastered, okay, then the better it's going to be for you. People who would like to, who don't, if you feel that you need to brush up on those skills, by all means join the Open Lab. I'm not going to give you a mark for it. However, if you use that time to practice those skills, it's open for you. You have paid for this course. Why not use as much as possible from that? You can sit, you can practice, and I can give you all kinds of challenges if you need more. So, you know, if you feel that you need to brush up on the termination skills, if you feel that you don't have it 100%, by all means join the Open Lab. We will be happy to bring you up to speed with those things. All right. When is the quiz, Hunter? Yeah, the quiz is going to be sometime. Still working on these questions. I gotta get them sorted, and it's probably going to be released sometime tomorrow. All right. But you're going to have a very comfortable time span to complete that. Once you get the first once you get the first quiz with all the instructions, they are pretty much simple and to the point. You are going to be quite comfortable with that. So no panicky about that. Trust me. Okay, I'm not a doctor. Okay. Will the quiz be on what we just learned? Yes, it's going to be up to this point. And hint, when we come to the test, there might be some questions from this quiz that are going to be used on the test as well. All right. So yeah. Any questions that we have done about anything that we have done so far, or anything that has to do with with the subjects that we are learning? Don't ask me how many roads does a man have to cross, because I don't know. If not, I'm going to give a little bit, few more seconds, and then if not, we're going to finish up this lesson here. Going once, going twice. All right. I love you guys. You are special, and all that stuff. Thank you very much. And I will see, I think, section 2 tomorrow, because I'm covering for Mr. Cunningham. Okay. He has something to do. Cool. All right. Have a nice one, guys. Thank you. I'll see you when I see you.